We all know that it's a topic on our minds, and that is how to handle family situations after a divorce. Now, I mean like social gatherings, being compared to people who are married now and have children, and the dream and the desire that you wanted. So let's talk about the 5 steps that we can do and how to handle family situations and to just get over them. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jenny, and I'm a coach for helping people find empowerment through trials and learning to find self-worth and realizing you're worth it and don't give up on your dreams. If you haven't joined the movement on how to find empowerment through trials, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. Share this video with everybody around you because you never know who's going through a trial and who needs to have empowerment during those trials. So subscribe button, it's right there. Just get it. Let's just do this thing. Number 1, change your attitude of what should and could have been to what is and what can be. Now, I'm definitely speaking for myself, and to the choir, because it is very easy to feel like you are entitled to something that you've dreamed for your entire life. So many Christian women always say, the only thing I wanted to do was to be able to just raise my children in a loving home and to just be able to flourish and focus on that. Why do I have to focus on all of these other things that divorce now has to deal with? I now have to be everything all in one. I got to be the financial person. I got to make sure the food's on the table. I've got to be the teacher and everything. I've got to be the single parent. Or now I have to go through this life all by myself, even without children. What happened to my dream? So easy to get caught in that mindset of what could have been, what should have been, and what I'm entitled to. So refocus yourself and understanding that just because you're going through a divorce, again, doesn't mean you can't get your fairy tale dream, but you gotta let go of the fairy tale dream. Because it's in the culture that we live in, we have expectations that are set up for failure. That's just the truth. And I wish that I could teach the youth in the world this is enjoy the journey and enjoy the ride, but don't set your expectations too high. Just expect the best out of yourself today because that's all you can do. And that's all you can do as well. Focus on the present and now. Find what you actually can do and what you want to do in this life. So in that moment when you're sitting around playing cards with your family and you're like, man, this really sucks because I don't have what they have and I've always wanted it. Then you feel the self-pity and the self-doubt and you start to question yourself and life, everything. Focus on the present and say, you know what? I am just going to play the game right here, right now, and I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm just going to let go of all those thoughts and I'm going to address them later because in the moment right now, I have a family and I actually get to be with them. Number 2, redefine what happiness and joy means to you. Yes, because all your life you thought that if having a family, getting married, having the house, having the dog, and everything around you meant that would bring happiness. Well, I got news for you guys. You all, if you've been divorced, you might have had a little bit of that and you still weren't happy. Or maybe you were happy and now you're not happy because you're getting divorced. So this whole facade of, I thought I was happy, why did this happen? Maybe you haven't experienced joy yet in your life because clearly there was someone else in your life that didn't want you there anymore, and you got to figure out if they don't want me, then why should I want them? And if I don't want me either, then we've got an issue there, right? Don't reject yourself just because your dream of joy and happiness didn't come true. Redefine it. Rediscover who you are and have fun with it. Realize that this is your opportunity to decide, actually, I'm going to go buy that Slurpee over there and it may be like 300 to 500 calories and sugar grams and how many, whatever it is, but I'm going to enjoy it and it's going to be great. And today that little Slurpee right there is going to bring me happiness. It's joy in the little things. So enjoy the moment that you're in, but redefine what joy means for you. It may not be that white picket fence anymore. It may not be having so many babies or making sure you can put dinner on the table every night. Maybe it's something now like joining a league of sports or going out with your girlfriends every night. Maybe that's where you find joy, but really it has to start within. Discover what you want and discover who you are, because this is a new process of rebirthing. Number 3, I really don't want to talk about this one, but it kind of is, it has to happen. Take your inward thoughts of loss, regret, doubt, low self-esteem, lack of encouragement, all of these things that go through your mind when you're hanging out with your family because you don't have what they have, and start looking at what you do have. Yes, I'm talking about gratitude. Sometimes I really hate talking about gratitude because I just feel like everybody says, well, you just need to be grateful. Like, you just need to make sure you're grateful. Make sure you're grateful. And I'm like, it's not that I'm not grateful. It's just that I'm having a hard time with the fact that I don't have what you have. And so again, it's okay to not be okay with not having what you want to have, but also focus on what you do have. The gratitude thing actually does work, and it actually does make you feel better. So if you're living in the present and you're finding out what you really do have, you'll find yourself actually beginning to love yourself and realizing the gifts that you have. I always think about Job. You've probably heard me talk about him before because he's my favorite. Think about all the things that Job could have put on his list that he's grateful for. Yeah. Your list might be a little bit better than his. I'm not saying we should compare, but he's a good comparison. Number 4 has to do with actually talking to your family members. And this is what I mean. Set your own boundaries on what you want to actually talk about with your family. Every time you get together, it may be, so who you're dating, or when is the next guy coming along, or blah, 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 family this, and blah, 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 family that. Set your boundaries and be okay with it and say, I would like not to talk about my love life, and I would like to just talk about what I am accomplishing and what I'm not accomplishing. Don't really want to go down that road. This is a culture thing, and you kind of just have to forgive them for it, but you can't really expect any difference from them if you don't set your boundaries. So set your boundaries, let them know that you will let them know when you want to talk about your love life and your future baby and families and career life and whatever they want to talk about. They love you, they care about you, they just want to know these things, and don't feel like you have this expectation that you have to fit that they have set for you. Set your own expectations with your relationships, your conversations, and yourself. And last but not least, number 5, if you want to be treated normal, then you need to act normal. This is very important. A lot of us want the pedestal of sorrow and sympathy and woe is me because I went through a divorce, but yet, please don't ask me how I'm doing, and please don't do this, and please don't do that. You can't play the double-edged sword there. If you want to be treated normal, then you need to act normal. Set your own boundaries. Let them know that you don't want to talk about it, but then just also move on. Live in the present and enjoy where you're at. So, a story here. I have a loved one in my life that was incapable and unable to have children. And it was very difficult when I ended up getting pregnant with my son, having to tell this person that I loved that I was expecting a child and that they couldn't have a child. But then I began to see and learn that she didn't want that special treatment. She didn't want people to say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to invite you to the baby shower because I don't want to bring up feelings and emotions. She didn't want any of that. She didn't want me to pull her aside and say, I'm so sorry, I wish I could do this change for you. How can I help you? She didn't want any of that. Again, I think that the same thing goes for me in my life now. I don't want anybody to say, so who you dating? When are the wedding bells coming? And you should hurry up because you're not getting any younger. I don't really want to talk about it. So if you want to respect other people, respect yourself by saying, I just want to be normal and I want to be treated normal, and I may not have the equal or same value of the life that you have, but I am normal and I'm going to treat myself that way and I want to be treated that way. So don't play that double-edged sword of wanting sympathy and sorrow and sadness, but then telling them not to talk about it. Because if you do want that sympathy, sorrow, and sadness, then you probably should be open to talking about it. But act normal if you want to be treated normal. If you just want to vent about this topic, get to know other people who are in your circle of trying to find empowerment through divorce, go ahead and click on my Facebook link, join the group, let's get discussions going, and find people who are just like you, who are struggling through trials. There's my 5 steps for you on trying to handle your relationships around other people and family as someone who's divorced, especially in the Christian culture. Remember that you have value, you have worth, and today's your day. So live in the present and enjoy it, because happiness starts now.